You just left your monastery for the first time in a long time. You went to town to pick up some rice. When you arrive to the store, you see that there's a bunch of thugs in there, just causing trouble, trying to steal items, knock things down, push people around, steal money, gold. Typically, this is something that you wouldn't get involved in. Your code, the way your monastery and your people work, is to not get involved in these sort of affairs. But you just can't sit by and watch. So you get involved. You tell them to leave. Tell them that you don't want any trouble. And that if they know it's good for them, they should get out of here. They didn't like that. They come at you. They have no idea what you're trained in. You take out your walking stick and you smack them across the head. You hit the other one in the leg, knock him down, and you just get into the fight of their lives. For you, it is nothing. You're just punching and kicking and hitting with the quarterstaff and knocking them down. Before you know it, before they know it, they're all down on the ground. You look to the door. There's one man standing there. He takes out a dagger and throws it at you, but you catch it in midair and throw it right back at him. He drops to the ground, dead. You pick up your rice and you walk out. If this sounded interesting to you, you'd probably like to play a monk in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I'm Josh from J&J Tabletop, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So monks are like this balanced master of self. They're calm and disciplined and powerful. They're just like a really cool, I mean, they're exactly what you expect them to be. If you've ever seen a kung fu movie, that's a monk in D&D. Some examples, if you want them, would be Ip Man, and if you've never seen that, then watch it. IPMAN. Uncle Iroh from the Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think he's a perfect example of someone who has just mastered himself. There are people that they make fun of him for his weight or his failures or just any decisions that he's made, or even his nephew, and even his nephew makes fun of him and gives him a hard time, but he still just pulls through and he does what he feels is right. And he's also just like low-key one of the most powerful benders in that world. Then you have like Bruce Lee, just anyone. I mean, kung fu movies, martial arts movies, karate movies, anything like that, that's your monk. So as far as monks in the party, like what are you going to be doing in a group of adventurers? Well, you're probably going to be doing damage. I mean, you're definitely going to be doing a lot of damage. The other thing that you could do is like probably some of the sneaking around. You know, you could help with that kind of thing, but I think your main focus is going to be damage dealing. So let's talk about the defining features of the monk. There are a few that I think really stand out, and that would be your martial arts, and of course, monk martial arts. Basically, it's going to make you hit harder. You could use dex or strength, whichever one you want to use. You could also hit more often, and I don't mean like you hit so well that you're going to hit more often than other classes. I mean, no, you get more opportunities to make attacks. Pretty awesome. The other thing that you're gonna get is key points, and that's like I mean, you know a little bit about these type of things. It's kind of like sorcery points, or you know, it's like a little economy that you get, and you get to cash these little points in for something special. It might be a flurry of blows where you'll be able to make some extra hits, or it might be patient defense where you'll be able to dodge as a bonus action, which I feel like that gets overlooked so much, but you get to dodge as a bonus action. That's huge. The other one would be Step of the Wind, and that lets you either take the dash action as a bonus action or disengage. And you also get a double jump, I like to call it, because you get double your jump speed for the rest of that turn. And then there'd probably be two other things that I would say are your biggest defining features, and that would be deflect missiles, which basically means you could sometimes you could catch like a dagger or something, or an arrow that somebody threw at you, or knock it out of the way. You also have unarmored movement, which basically means if you're not wearing armor or using a shield, you move faster. And that stacks with you once you get to higher levels. You get even more movement on top of that. So by the time you're like in the upper tiers, you're just gonna be flying all over the place. I don't mean flying, you're gonna be running all over the place. And that's pretty freaking sick. So as far as subclasses go, there are three. The first one would be the Way of the Open Hand, and this is the master of martial arts. This is your Ip Man. You're gonna be out there, you're gonna just be punching the crap out of people. You're gonna be deflecting blows. You're gonna be kicking. You're gonna be hitting people with your quarterstaff or whatever monk weapon you choose to use. You're just gonna be a martial master, and you're gonna be kicking butt. The other one is the Way of Shadow, and this is the master of sneak. You'll just be sneaking around. You could even go invisible at some points. There's a lot of really cool things you could do with that. I like to picture like a ninja assassin. If you've ever seen that movie, that's kind of what I think of when I think of the way of the shadow for the monk, because they're just super sneaky and just deadly, almost like a rogue, but you know, more monk like, something like that. I don't know. And then the last one that we'll have is the Way of the Four Elements, and this is the master of the elements. And I feel like I don't need to tell you what this one is. It is very clearly the Avatar, the Last Airbender, and you could say, you know, Uncle Iroh or Katara or whatever other bender, but you get to use some nature and elemental type magic. And throughout all of these, you'll get to use your key points on some special things. So, like I said, for the shadow, you'll be able to turn invisible for a certain amount of key points. Open hand, you get to hit more, do more damage, and Way of the Four Elements, you get to do, like, you know, maybe Fangs of the Fire Snake or some other cool, crazy elemental things. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, I would like to make a monk. I want to run around with unarmored movement and just kick butt. Well, here's what I would do. First, I would put all of your points into dex. Most amount of points, put them into dexterity. Next, I would put some of your points into wisdom. And then after that, I would choose constitution. And all that is going to make you a really good, really effective on the battlefield monk. And after that, just choose whatever you want. And as far as races go, probably just go with Wood Elf. Unless you have something that, you know, sounds more fun. Wood Elf gets a bonus to Dex, so it's just gonna bump you up and make you do a little bit more damage, make you be a little bit more effective. But have fun with it. Play whatever you want. If you want to be a half orc monk, then do that. If you want to be a halfling monk, that could be fun. And they have a bonus to Dex too, so that could be pretty nice. Alright, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something, and I want to hear all about your monk things. If you've played a monk before, I want to hear all about it. Tell me about the monastery they came from. Did they not come from a monastery? How'd they learn their martial arts? I want to hear all about it. If you're making a monk, tell me about that in the comments too. And yeah, well, just thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And you know, Thursdays on twitch.tv/J&J Tabletop, we will be playing the Dragon of Icespire Peak. And you know, Fridays, we'll also be doing Friday night fights whenever we do that. So stay tuned. All the links are in the doobly-doo. And yeah, stay safe. Have a great day. Okay, see you later.